A week after knocking off Florida State at home, UVA goes on the road, and what is probably their toughest test left. They go to Louisville, where they're 6.5-point dogs, and it's a huge one. They win this one. They don't have a conference loss. They've got their 2 toughest tests out of the way. The world's in front of them in terms of making the ACC championship game. But this is a tough test. My key matchup is Louisville has the best pass rush in the country from a PFF grade standpoint.
That's cool.
Clev Lubin has 4 sacks. AJ Green, Wesley Bailey, they have a lot of dogs on the edge. And UVA is going to need to keep Chandler Morris clean, or at least fairly clean, to have a chance in this game. Move the ball down the field, stuff like that. And if he's just getting hit all night, if he's getting flushed from the pocket, you're going to see a couple of those picks that he had in the Florida State game, for example. And actually another point I have real quick is Chandler Morris is probably going to throw a pick or 2.
Yeah.
He's just kind of that gunslinger mentality. Can you just somehow have them not happen in key moments?
Yeah.
Can you not throw it on the game-winning drive against NC State to seal the loss? Can you, maybe throw it when there's 8 seconds left in the second half and you're throwing a Hail Mary and it just gets picked off and it doesn't matter? But those are kind of my couple keys. Y'all's thoughts on this game?
I think for me, who would have thought that at this point in the season we would have 2 ACC games to talk about on our slate?
Yeah, that is crazy.
And it doesn't include Clemson.
Clemson UNC.
This is
Sure.
It's crazy that we get to talk about a ranked Virginia and an undefeated Louisville at this point in the season. For me, I want to see I just want to see Miller Moss finally play well. Last week was finally like a week where he actually put up a stat line that I kind of expected this year in a win at Pitt. He was 33 for 51 for 340, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Prior to that, he had only had 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in the 3 games prior against Eastern Kentucky, JMU, and Bowling Green. So it's been a disappointing start to the season, and he finally put up a good stat line last week at Pitt. And I just want to see a building on that, because Miller Moss was a potential dark horse Heisman favorite this year, and they really expected him to put together a really good season. They're 4-0, and everything's ahead of them, and they're 6.5-point favorites at home against Virginia. But I want to see that be built upon, because
Sure.
I mean, you might know more than me, Jack, but I don't feel like last week Virginia was not tested at all through the air by Tommy Castellanos. Really only tested in the throws to Deuce Robinson, and that was about it.
Which they did not perform very well.
Yeah, and that's just one-on-one with an excellent receiver.
Sure.
That's really not going to go well. Miller Moss can throw it to a bunch of guys, and I want to see how that works. It's a drastic change in styles offensively, and that'll be an interesting thing to see. They do get the extra day of rest, but then you have it's a potential letdown game with how emotional of a win that was last week. And now you have to go on the road against one of the contenders in the ACC. So we'll get to see a lot of the competitive makeup of Virginia this weekend.
100% agree.
Especially if they're able to keep this close into the fourth quarter. But I agree 100%. I think it comes down to the quarterbacks in this game. Chandler Morris and Miller Moss, whoever puts together the better performance, and then whoever doesn't turn over the ball, I think wins the game for these two schools.
Yeah. Anything here, Sanders?
Yeah, the Louisville defense is elite at forcing turnovers. They rank first in the country in interception rate. They intercept 7% of opponents' passes. I think I'm reading that stat right. It was a weird one, but that'll be something to keep your eye on. My big question, does Louisville storm the field if they win?
No.
I hope not, man.
I
really
hope not either. It would be really funny if we get
maybe in basketball they would storm the court.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got to say is watch out for the Louisville defense against a guy that, like you said, has thrown a lot of picks, ranks 88th in the country in interception rate offensively, so they throw a lot of interceptions.
And I think that's honestly the key for UVA is the Chandler. You got to keep Chandler Morris clean, but the best way to keep Chandler Morris clean is let Jamari Taylor have success on the ground. Keep Chandler Morris out of third and long, obvious pass rushing situations, because they ran the ball pretty well against Florida State, actually. They had about 200 yards on the ground, and he was great. Jamari Taylor was physical. He had that one touchdown run where he just bowed over or bowled over Earl Little. So that's really a great way to have success. And then in terms of helping Miller Moss play well, the Louisville offensive line has not been very good. So find some run success maybe there. It's not like UVA has a great defensive line. So this should potentially be while they've not been good, it's kind of like this is an easy test to handle in theory. But
Yeah. And then Louisville getting UVA off the field. UVA is 5th in the country in third down conversion rate, 57%. So keep an eye on that one as well. You want to pick it? JP, is it still 6.5, or do we have a update?
It's still 6.5.
Cool.
I picked and will pick Louisville to cover 6.5 because of it being 6.5. I think Miller Moss has a good day, and I love taking 6.5 point favorites. So give me Louisville to cover 6.5 and win, of course.
I'm going to ride with my boys. You talked a lot about what we'll see from the competitive makeup, and I trust Tony Elliott. I trust what they have there. They may not win, but they're going to go on the road and put up a great fight till the very end. Chandler Morris, if he throws 2 picks, he'll be right out there the next possession, running around, slinging it, finding Trell Harris, finding Cam Robinson. And so I think they'll keep it close. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think you'll probably find UVA in a high-scoring game every week, and probably Louisville, to be honest, at this point. But yeah, give me Virginia to cover the 6.5.
I will also take Louisville to cover the 6.5.